Yes. What's going on, family? What's going on, guys? Welcome to tonight's session with your boy Abel. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys as usual. If you guys can hear my voice, if you guys can see my screen, if we are good to go, family, just let me know by dropping a 3 in the chizzy chat, because we're gonna be looking at the markets and seeing what really happened over the past 24 hours since I pretty much been with you guys. And we're going to be able to see that the markets pretty much did exactly what we've been expecting to. Like, they really, really didn't do too much in terms of the dollar itself. The dollar really didn't do too much. But, again, the markets are pretty much doing and reacting, guys, in a way that we have pretty much been expecting overall, right? So, super excited to see everything just continuing to line up. And we have a few opportunities that we can also approach going into tonight that we can, again, see if we can actually go ahead and grab some pips off of. But let's see who we got in the building tonight, guys. I see we got New York City in the house. What is going on? Shout out to you, Chaos. What is up? We got 5th Ward, Houston in the building. Riverside, California. We got Florida in the house. What's going on? Tony. What's going on, Tony? Good to see you in the chat. We got Vermont in the building. What's good, Kyle? We got Louisiana, the boot present on the check-in. We got Chicago in the building. What's going on, family? Southern Illinois in the house. We got Baltimore. Big Bert, what's good, dog? I see you in the chat. We got Oklahoma City in the building as well. Right, I see market waiting for NFP. That's probably definitely why the market just been, going a little sideways overall. But we're going to talk about that for sure as well in a few. Right, we got the boy Christian from Chicago in the building. What's going on, my brother? Good to see you. New Jersey, Arkansas, New Mexico, Katy, Texas in the building. Belize, Chicago, right, nation's capital. What's going on? All right, we got Orange County, Belize, Michigan, Chicago, New Jersey, Australia, Queensland in the building as well with us tonight, family. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys. If you guys could do me one solid, just go ahead and smash the like button. Smash that like button for your boy, and I appreciate you ahead of time, right? But let's go ahead and see what the market has ultimately done, guys. And overall, like I said, we really didn't do too much. Again, we did what I wanted to see. Right, because if we come back over here to the daily time frame, guys, and we look at what the dollar has done over the past 24 hours, it really didn't do much, right? We literally just, started creating this indecision candle, right, where the market itself, the buyers and the bulls pretty much were at a standstill, right? Like, there wasn't one more dominant than the other. But what I expected and what I wanted to see, and what we talked about last night, was that I wanted to see a pullback in the markets before we actually go ahead and continue going higher. Now the question is, was this pullback that we actually did see, was that sufficient enough for price to actually go ahead and start rallying to the upside? All right, well, I think it is very possible for it to actually, be that way. So what I'm looking at now, guys, right now, again, we're looking at it from the daily, just looking at what, previous daily candles did, going to the 4-hour. And now in the 4-hour, we could really start to see, guys, what price has really started to do, right? So we got this nice reaction down here from these lows, pushed up. And then for the most part, we had a very short little pullback, and then we had a nice little pop in the markets. Now, what I think is going to happen, guys, and what I'm going to be leaning towards for the dollar is, again, I am still bullish. I do believe that we could really start to see price, go back into its bullish trend overall, right? So my bias, my opinion is I want to see price continue at least back up to around 108, 109 levels, right? Coming back up to these highs. That's my overall opinion, and that's what I'm going to be pretty much planning when I'm looking at my opportunities. Let me see. Let me just make sure. Let me make sure we're good to go. All right, reconnection successful. Perfect. All right, again, shout out to every single one of you guys that are again in the chat, in the family with us tonight. We got Nigeria, we got California, we got Chicago. Right, yeah, there's a lot of you guys from Chicago in the building with us tonight. Super excited to be here with every single one of y'all. Right, but again, I'm really thinking, guys, that we could realistically, possibly, really start to see price, start to go higher, even from this level that we're at right now. With the dollar itself. Like, I would not be surprised, guys, whatsoever, if this level that we're actually playing off of is a level that we do see a lot of demand for the dollar start to pick up, right? That sends price higher. So that's going to be what I'm pretty much going to be, playing going into tonight, right? As I want to be playing dollar strength, pretty much leading into tonight, going into tomorrow. And yeah, I'm going to use that dollar strength to my advantage to pretty much position myself in other opportunities that we can actually trade, right? Like different currency pairs that we're going to be looking at. But that is my general bias for right now, family, right? On what I'm looking at in terms of the dollar. I'm expecting dollar strength. I could be wrong. I am human, right? So if I am wrong, then it is what it is. I'll just sit on the sidelines, take my L's, like a champ, and just deal with them, right? And then go ahead and look for the next opportunity. But what I want to see is, again, I do want to see price potentially go ahead and continue going higher. Right now, in terms of the actual calendar, guys, right, we do got a few things that we have to be aware of for this week overall that are probably going to affect the markets, right? So on Thursday, we have initial jobless claims, which is definitely going to be interesting. Pretty much just measures the number of pretty much people that are actually without a job, right? Pretty much. And like I've been telling you guys, in terms of employment and jobs numbers, I believe those are actually going to start to get worse and worse and worse. So I think this number is going to continue to increase overall, right? But that's definitely something, guys, on Thursday that could potentially bring some volatility to the markets, because of everything that we're experiencing with inflation and all these different things that we're trying to do to fight inflation. Reports like this one right here are definitely ones that a lot of traders and investors are really eyeing right now. So that's definitely something to pay attention to. Pay attention to on Thursday, and then on Friday, guys, we also do have non-farm payrolls, right? We have non-farm payrolls, and we have the unemployment rate also coming out. The unemployment rate also coming out, right? So again, these are data that is going to be pretty much eyed by big time investors and traders across the world, because right now, and this is something that we spoke about, guys, and I speak about this stuff all the time, right? But I always like to repeat myself just so that we all are clear and have clarity on exactly what the hell is happening in this world, right? But overall, I've been expecting, or at least not just me, right? But now there's a lot of expectations, guys, for these, employment numbers to actually start going worse and worse, becoming worse and worse, right? Because right now, the reason why, the talk of the town, because of the Fed, they saying that they're going to redefine a recession, right? The definition for a recession, all that good stuff, right? But because of all that, they're really saying all that because of the fact that we still have a very strong jobs market overall, right? Unemployment is still extremely low at 3.6%. But like I've been telling you guys, jobs numbers and jobs reports and employment records, using that as a means to try to predict whether we're going to be in a recession or not, is probably not the best way to do it, right? Because simply put, those are lagging indicators, right? Those really don't start to shift towards a negative factor until after we're already going through crazy inflation, and the Fed had to go ahead and start tightening up, right? So there's a lot of factors, guys, that go happen first before we see unemployment rates start to go higher, you know, and a lot of people are now out of work and out of a job. So, but overall, you know, we definitely gonna be have to be aware of this, guys, on Friday. You know, this is going to be a big deal. For a lot of you guys that do not know what U.S. non-farm payrolls are, guys, non-farm payroll measures the change in the number of people employed during the previous month, right? So this is going to be, again, a big deal, and that's something we have to be aware of. All right, so big shout out to all of our newest subscribers as well. What's going on, Gabe? Good to see you in the chat. Good to see you in the family. I appreciate you for supporting and rocking with us, and hopefully you get some value going into tonight, family. But that's my bias right here. With the dollar, even with non-farm payrolls, I'm still expecting dollar strength overall. So that's how we're going to be playing it. Now, let's go ahead and take a look, guys, at a few opportunities that we actually spoke about yesterday that pretty much did exactly what we wanted it to, right? Like, and I want to start off by looking at gold, you know, because gold is the one setup that I actually jumped into today, that I actually took today. I'm actually still floating in another one, but you know, this is the trade idea right here, guys, that I talked to you guys about yesterday, right? On gold, a beautiful asset like gold. And I told you guys that at 1772 there is a good chance that we're actually going to go ahead and see price go ahead and give us an entry to short. So what did I do? I had my position waiting right at 1772 area. And price did exactly what we expected it, right? We expected price to come back up to this level, and then from there go ahead and turn around back lower. Now, let's go ahead and see exactly what I was looking for and why I even decided to even take that trade, and why it looked so interesting to me to take in the first place, right? Just to catch that quick little intraday move. I was literally in the trade, guys, for almost maybe 2 hours, right? Literally in it for only about 2 hours, and we caught a nice little bag on that. So let's explain exactly what happened and what I think can actually happen next now. So when we're looking at gold, guys, I was talking to you guys about how we were actually playing off of certain levels, right? And I'm comparing, you know, key levels of price where the market has clearly reacted from in the past. So if we look in the past, guys, we can see that we had an aggressive sell-off. Then we had this little pause in the market right here, and then a nice continuation lower. Now, this little pause in the market, guys, is actually pretty significant, right? Because we had massive sell-off, right? We had sellers completely in control, right? The demand for gold started to actually decrease. Then we had a pause, and then the same thing happened, right? Sellers just completely came in and everybody just was selling gold. Now, because of this pause and because of how we actually reacted, there can always be more orders up there that were unfilled, right? A lot of short orders that were unfilled, because since we had such fast momentum here, right, there could have been. So we're really reacting to see how price was going to react off of this level. We've seen a couple little reactions, but then ultimately price ended up breaking up. But the thing that really caught my attention with this move is the fact that even after we broke up, price eventually came slamming right back down, right? So it's being able to read things like that, guys, that type of price action that is going to really put us in a position to understand exactly how to play this. Right, so I see that we're at a key level in price. Okay, we started to see price go higher. It started getting a little choppy while we got up here. Then we seen a nice pop up, and then ultimately we seen a very aggressive sell off compared to what we just seen. I mean, look at this, right? Look at how choppy the rise is. Then we get above a key level of structure, right? And then we see a very aggressive sell off. So what took maybe 1, 2, I'm not even going to count this, right? Let's just say 10 candles, right? Maybe 10 to 15 candles. What took 10 to 15 candles to actually do, which is this move higher, it took 3 candles to actually erase. So when we see things like that, especially at major areas of structure or major areas of liquidity, right, we have to take advantage of that type of price action. So what did we do, right? We waited for price to pull back up. And then off of that, we ended up entering right on that actual pullback. And then we shorted right back down to the lows. Now, what can we actually do moving forward? Right? Very simple. What can we do? What can we expect moving forward? Again, I think that we still have some more downside here for gold, in my opinion. Right? I really want to see price actually go ahead and run these lows right here that we have created for gold. So I think that we can realistically start to look for some shorting opportunities very, very soon. Now, let's start going to lower time frame here and seeing if there's something that we could find that maybe stands out. that can give us an actual opportunity to go ahead and get involved. Right, so looking at what we're looking at here with gold, I think that pretty much almost where we're at right now might really be a good area to take a trade. Right, just being honest here, right? Like looking at where we're actually at right now, right? Seeing how the market is reacting from right here. I think that even looking at taking a setup or an opportunity from where price is actually at right now could actually give us a really good opportunity, right? Really high probability type opportunity, opportunity type of setup, 100%, right? So looking at where we're at right now is not a bad opportunity right now. Again, this is the 1 hour time frame, right? Very simple. Look at price action. We had momentum starting to shift, right? Become very choppy. Massive shift that ends up breaking the trend. This little choppy trend that we're seeing. And then we seen price come up, create a shoulder, pop up above that shoulder, immediately get rejected, come back up, create next shoulder. And now there's a good chance that this thing really does roll over and go lower. So my opinion, guys, for gold is that we're definitely going to start going bearish right from where we're currently at right now. So that's what I would be looking for if I was actually looking to trade gold. I would be looking for shorts all day long right now. All right, we can go to smaller time frame as well, 15 minutes, see if there's anything there for us. But this really looks very juicy, guys, right? Very good. Right, and again, at the end of the day, the risk to reward, even if we target right back down to these lows, it's not a bad risk to reward, right? We're talking about 2.5 to 1. We could possibly even tighten up this stop loss, but overall, it's not a bad looking setup. I think that there is a good chance for price to actually go ahead and make its way lower. Let me see. Yeah, I like it. So overall, that is my opinion on gold. I realistically just want to see more downside prices, right? I think we can realistically go ahead and continue to see bearish numbers, or at least bearish pricing coming in for gold. So yeah, I'll just be looking to go ahead and continue shorting this, guys. If it was up, that's what I'm gonna be doing, is looking to continue to short this opportunity, right? Because it definitely does look very juicy from right where we're currently at right now. Right, it's either we're gonna go ahead and go short from these levels right here where we're currently at, or we might even pop up to these levels. Also an opportunity, right? If we pop up to 1777, then we could possibly roll over as well from these levels. But overall, guys, I really do like this gold though. Alright, so that's where we're at with that one. Definitely looks pretty juicy though. Let's go ahead and see what else let me catch up with the chat as well. Right, I see we got Augusta, Georgia in the building. What's going on? Shout out to you, Martha. Good to see you. Barbados in the family in the building. What's going on? Let's see, if the Dixie is going higher, does that mean indices like going up as well? Well, typically, right, if indices are going up, or if, let's say that if the dollar index is actually going, that's a really good question, by the way, right? Really good question. And hopefully when I explain this, it really gives you an aha moment, because I had an aha moment once I finally understood this, right? So if the dollar itself is going up, right? If the dollar itself is going up, then that technically would mean, or typically that would lead toward indices actually going down, right? They have a negative correlation with each other. And the reason for that is because you have to understand, when we're talking about these different asset markets, right, we're talking about them being run by supply and demand at the end of the day. So based off supply and demand is going to pretty much dictate on what the price of assets, goods, currencies, whatever it is that we're measuring, right? Supply and demand is what really is what creates, the actual movement in price in those things. So I say all that to say this, when it comes to currencies, right, like the dollar index, yeah, if people are now, because of whatever reason, maybe say a lot of economic hardship, there's a lot of fear, a lot of doubt, when we're dealing with a lot of things like that in the economy, people are going to flock to the dollar, right? Which is going to cause the demand for the dollar to increase, which will cause the price of the dollar, or the value at least of the dollar, to actually increase as well. Now, in order for people to actually go into the dollar, how are they actually doing that? Well, they're liquidating their assets, and some of those assets are going to be in the stock market, right? Which is going to be directly tied into the indice market. So if we have the dollar going up, it's because people are now liquidating and selling their assets that they have access to, they have exposure to. All right, I hope this makes sense. I'm trying to explain it in the most simplest way possible, right? Simple form, it has a negative correlation to each other, but I'm trying to break down the more technical reason of why they do. All right, so it's either people are going to have their money sitting in dollar, or they're going to have it invested in stocks, right, in the indice market. And depending on which one is favored by the actual community, that's the one that's going to gain strength, while the other one is losing strength because it's taking money from one, putting it to the other, taking money from one, putting it to the other, right? Taking money from one, putting it to the other. So that's pretty much how you really want to look at that from that aspect itself. Right, let's see what else we got here. Can you explain RR in any pair that looks interesting to you? I have a difficult time trying to ascend it. Of course, Brother Joe, I got you for sure. Right, so hypothetically speaking, right, let's go back and look at gold real quick. Right, hypothetically speaking, if we wanted to say take, this trade on gold, right, like this trade right here, right where price is at for gold, if we wanted to say take this shorting opportunity, hypothetically speaking, right, and we're trying to look for the risk to reward, right, RR stands for risk to reward. We're looking for a risk to reward because we want to make sure that if we are taking trades, that we're taking trades with good risk to rewards. Because one thing that we know for a fact, family, is that we're going to take losses, right? You cannot avoid losses in this game. But if you actually know how to manage your risk, and you're taking trades with great risk to reward, it doesn't matter. You can actually lose more trades than you win and actually still be profitable. Right? I know people like that are winning only 30, 40, 50% of the time, right? And they're actually very, very, very successful. In fact, if you can win 60 to 70% of the time, then you're actually really, really good at this. Like, you are really, really good at actually predicting the markets, right? So do not come in, guys, expecting to predict the markets 100% of the time. It's just not going to happen, right? So if you know you're going to take losses, if you know you cannot avoid losses in this game, because it's gonna happen one way or not, right? It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how good you think you are, it doesn't matter about none of that, right? You can have the best setup in the world and still get smacked around by these markets, right? So if you know you're gonna take losses, like if you know it's guaranteed to occur, that's why you have to check yourself and ask yourself, why am I going to over leverage, for one, right? Not follow proper risk by over leveraging, and for two, right? I need to make sure that I've taken trades with good risk to reward just in case I do lose, or just in case I do go through a little losing streak, right? Or I lose, 5 trades in a row, whatever the case may be. Okay, so again, practicing proper risk management is key, but also risk to reward is really that sauce, right? You could literally win. If you do risk to reward of 2 to 1, where if we look at this example right here, right, with gold. Right, this example, stop loss right above this high, and let's just say we're going to target back down to these lows. Right, this is a risk to reward of 6, right, 6 to 1. So that means if we're risking 2%, right, 2% is our risk for this trade. So if we're risking 2% here, right, and our risk to reward is of 6 to 1, how much are we actually going for, family? Right, who knows the answer before I actually go ahead and answer it? Right, what is going to be our gains percentage wise, right? If we have a 6 to 1 risk to reward and we're risking 2%, what is going to be our gains, family? Let me know. Let me know, family. All right, let's see. Gold normally starts moving about midnight, 1 a.m. too. Oh, yeah. I see gold short this week. We got NFP, FOMC, and also did you see Japanese yen Banks of Japan maintains loose monetary policy? GJ going to be a good bullish run. 100%, Eric. I agree with you. Right, I definitely agree with you for sure. Right, let's see. We got Houston in the building. What's going on? OKC in the house as well. Shout out to y'all out there. I appreciate y'all. Let's see. I just got GJ off of sell for 7 pips. Hey, man. Let's see. How did you read that long short thing? I still calculate manually. All right, yeah, for sure. The long and short position thing is honestly one of the tools that I use the most. I see my name on the subscriber account and thought his name was my name. What's going on, Santiago? I appreciate you for rocking with us. Right, so again, family, the question was, right, if we are risking 2% here, our risk to reward ratio is 6 to 1, right, or 1 to 6, however you want to say it. That means that we are actually going for 12% gains here, right? Because you want to multiply 2 by 6, right? You want to multiply 2, which is what we're risking, by 6, which is what our reward is, right? Because if we have a 1 to 6 risk to reward, right, for every $1 that we're actually going to be risking, we're going to be gaining $6 off of that. So 12% gains, that is going to be absolutely magical, right? But risk to reward, now let's say we have a risk to reward of 2, right? 2 to 1. If we have a risk to reward of 2 to 1, this is what I recommend you do not take no trades unless it's giving you a risk to reward of at least 2, right? At least 2. Nothing lower than this 2.00. Nothing lower than that. Your trade has to give you a 2 to 1 risk to reward, right? Which means if you're risking 10 pips, then you need to be targeting 20. If you're risking 40 pips, then you need to be targeting 80. If you're risking 100 pips, then you need to be targeting 200, right? 1 to 2 risk to reward. When you actually practice a 1 to 2 risk to reward, which is bare minimum you should be doing, see, now you can be 50% accurate, win 5 out of 10 trades, guys, and actually still be profitable. Because now your reward is double your risk every single time that you take a trade. So again, you can lose more than you actually win. You could even break even in terms of win rate, right? Where you win 5, you lose 5, but you can still be extremely profitable. That's what we have to realize. Right, so overall, that's pretty much risk to reward, though, and how we actually pretty much look at it, and right, and why it's important. I feel like risk to reward is like that golden nugget that everybody's looking for. I think that risk to reward is really that's the secret sauce right there for sure. All right, yeah, but this is let's go. Let's go ahead and see what else we got here, guys, on the horizon. So EURUSD is very interesting. This one. Obviously you guys see what I was looking for yesterday. You know, I wanted to see price actually come up to this level, the 102.5 level, and then go ahead and give us a move lower. I still think it's possible for us to go up there, so I'm going to continue holding. I actually set a sell limit last night after the call, right? And I'm actually going to continue holding this sell limit, guys, going into tonight, because there's a chance for price to actually want to go ahead and run higher before we actually go ahead and continue in this overall downtrend, right? So I'm going to continue to hold my EURUSD sell limit that I have up here at around 1.025 level, right? Because if price gets up there, then I'm going to be entering sells all day long, and I'm going to be looking to ride this thing down, because I think that we're still going to continue this bearishness that we've been in for easily a year plus now, and I don't see no signs of slowing down. I need to find an entry now, all right? And I'm really comfortable entering up here. Now, there is a chance for price, guys, really right where we're at now. There realistically is a chance for price to just really start dropping from there. And if it happens, it is what it is. You know, I'm not going to chase it either way. Right? I'm just looking to sell if we come up to here. That's my play. If we sell from right here, then, hey, man, shout out to everybody that's in those shorts. But I know I won't be. That's not really what I'm looking for right now. Right, so that's just my outlook, guys, for the euro. Again, it was something that I was very interested in last night, and that's just an update as to what we're pretty much is going on with that. Now, AUD/USD, very similar to what I said about the euro. Also looking for shorts, and price just didn't really get to the area that I wanted it to. I still do like the opportunity for price to come up to this 0.700 level, 7,000 level. The 0.7 level, and then from 0.7 I think that we could realistically see a nice move lower to the downside. So that's what I'm going to be looking for going into tonight for AUD/USD, is seeing if we can actually go ahead and or if we are going to go ahead and get filled. I mean, this is only around 40 pips away, 30-40 pips away, which for AUD/USD it could be a lot, because AUD/USD, guys, is probably one of the slower moving pairs. You know, so anybody that's a beginner, all my newer traders on the call that really can't handle the volatility of certain pairs like the pound pairs or even the assets like the indices, right? This is probably going to be your best friend right here. AUD/USD. You know, it's a very, very slow moving pair, right? It's a smooth moving pair, as you can see, right? It does move very smoothly, but it just doesn't net as many pips. Like each move isn't as aggressive as, you know, a lot of the other pairs could be. So overall, though, this is a nice moving pair, you know, that I used to love all the time. But yeah, guys, this is what I want to see for this one, right? 0.7. I want to short it from the 0.7 area all day long, right? That's really what I want to see for sure, right? So I want to see this level of resistance that we're currently at right now. I want to see this get ran, right? I think we're going to go ahead and run this resistance, and then from there, then I'll be looking for that all day long. Right, let's see what else we got here. Let me go ahead and catch up with the comments. Let's see. Luckily, I have national markets for all those. Oh, yeah, 100%. All right, let's see. My math is garbage. Always garbage. Sorry, no, it's all good, Brother Joe. Let's see. Greeting coach from Colombo, Sri Lanka. What's going on? Shout out to you guys out there in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Let's see. Please analyze GJ. Yeah, for sure. I got you. Right. So this is my outlook, guys, for AUD/USD. I think it's still very good. It looks very good and it's very juicy. And yeah, you know, take a look at it and see if you like it. If you do, then do what you do best. All right. So, what is the time frame you make the most money on? That's a good question, right? That's a good question. So it really depends. Right now, I've been experiencing a lot of. Normally, I'm a swing trader, right? Like I'm very comfortable with just finding positions and writing them out, right? And I've been able to do that a lot, especially with a lot of the dollar pairs. But with other pairs that are pretty much not dollar pairs, right, that are really not trendy right now, those ones I've been getting pretty much stopped out at break even a lot. So depending on the actual market conditions and depending on how just I'm reacting and respond to these markets, you know, I might favor quick scalps or day trade opportunities more so than, you know, the higher time frame 4-hour daily opportunities, swing trading opportunities. So with that said, for me personally, when it comes to time frames, my favorite time frame is probably the 4-hour time frame, the daily and the 4-hour time frames. But obviously when it comes for entries, my favorite time frames are the 5-minute and the 15-minute time frame. All right, so overall picture, overall perspective, my favorite time frame, my money time frames are the bigger ones, the 4-hour daily. But for precision, entries, things like that, definitely lower time frames are going to be the go-tos. Let's see. What's good, Abel? It's Uncle Ronnie Ron. What's going on, Ronnie? Good to see you in the chats. I see AU. I'm just waiting on bearish moment to lower low, lower high, low to short it. We got a trend line liquidity in the 4-hour. Check it out when you get the chance. Yeah, that's where we're at right now. All right, that's where we're at right now. I do want to see price go higher, but I definitely see what you see as well. We had a nice little trend line that ultimately got ran. This does give us a sign of bearish momentum, though, a sign of strength. And yeah, now I really like the opportunity to short this one at this 0.7 level for sure. For sure. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Do I do my analysis by bar or swing by swing and ignore the minor structure? You literally tapped your level exactly. Right, so what do you mean by bar or swing by swing? All right, what do you mean by that, 20 pip? Let's see, AUD and New Zealand. What's the EU? If USD is looking strong, then Euro will sell. Yeah, what's the EU level you said? All right, so for EU, I'll take a look at EU again, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at GJ. Right, but for EU, I'm still going to be holding my position. Again, I'm not sure if we are going to make our way up here, but I'm really liking this area at the 1.025. Again, we don't have to make our way down there. There's really a good chance for prices to really start turning around from right here. But this is just where I would feel comfortable with really shorting EU, right back up to that level up there. Right, so the 1.025 is where I'm very interested in it for sure. Let's see, AUD and New Zealand are good for beginners, but that's why I like it. It moves slow, so you won't lose a lot. 100%. I agree. Let's see, we ain't profit on gold trade. You just said. All right, shout out to my guy Christian. Let's see, I'm gonna trade on GJ for a sell again. I hope it keeps going down. Do you trade live or chart markup most of the time throughout the week? Right, so for the most part, these are gonna be more so just markups, giving you guys ideas that I'm gonna be playing. Because I normally actually trade New York session. All right, that's when I'm actively in my bag trading personally for me. But the reason why I don't go live during that time slot, if we're being honest, is because that's my time slot. Right, that's for me to just, you know, focus on the craft, focus on what I do, and I don't really need no distractions, from YouTube and having that public pressure, right? Because public pressure is a real thing, family, right? Where if you're trying to perform in the public and you have to actively, find opportunities and find entries when there's people actually watching you, it does add a much harder element to your trading that you might not even think of. But because I've been in this game for a while now, especially in the teaching space, and that's literally what I was just doing, was pretty much teaching and providing ideas all day long in live setting, I seen what it did for my trading results, and just speaking out of experience, right? Just being real with y'all. So my New York sessions is my New York sessions, right? That's when I lock in. That's when I go crazy. That's when I spend time with my family too. Early morning, I got a little routine, and then I come back on at nighttime Asian session with y'all here. All right, but overall, for the most part, like I said, it is going to be more just breaking down pretty much what we're looking at and what we're looking for going into the morning. All right, let's see what else we got here. I got in buys with UJ, looking to ride it. Took from the hour once we pulled back. In respect, let me know your thoughts if I did good. Currently up 160 pips. Eric, if you are up 160 pips, you don't need nobody to tell you if you did good off that. Right? You up 160 pips, baby. Right? You did really good on that. Right? Great job. That's a good catch. Now just understand when you're going to decide to take your profits, right? And when you're actually going to start paying yourself. Because it would suck to see you be up 160 pips and not secure none of it. All right, just in case. We got to start operating in just in case. It's instances sometimes, right? Let me go ahead and pay myself just in case. Let me go ahead and close this trade or close out a portion of my profits just in case, right? 'Cause the markets are extremely unpredictable. We have to be able to make sure that we're paying ourselves. Right, so let me see what else we got here. And I'm trying to catch up with the comments, guys. You guys know me. I'm very historically anal when it comes to trying to stay on top of the comments. Right, well, AUD/USD moves more during Asian. That would work great for my schedule, right? So AUD/USD is going to move during Asian session, but it's not going to be because of the Asian session. It's because of the Sydney session, right? So Sydney session is live right now as well, right? I believe the Sydney session opens at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It opens up, and yeah, the Sydney session is up until I'll be maybe 12, 1 o'clock. I'm not sure. 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't be remembering those things, right? But right now we are in Sydney session, right? Obviously, Sydney session is going to correlate with the Australian dollar, right? Because it's the Sydney session, and because right now, right, is when their financial institutions are actually operating and there's liquidity in the markets. This is probably what you could expect, some or an increase in volatility with the Australian dollar for sure. Right, so that's something to go ahead and pay attention to, and just be aware for sure with timing. Let's see what's going on, Kenneth. Good to see you. Can we look at EA? Yeah, for sure. Right, we'll definitely take a look at EA. So let's go take a look at GJ, right, and then take a look at EA. Right now, GJ, guys, again did exactly like I'm talking about, almost exactly what we pretty much wanted to see yesterday. Right, so remember when we were looking at GJ yesterday, guys, right? Price was up here when we were looking at GJ. I told you guys for GJ that I wanted to see another buy, right? And I literally wanted to see it right down here where price went. Like, I kid you not, right? Like, I could literally bring up the video that it's all recorded, right? It's all documented. So, but overall, price literally went exactly to where we wanted GJ to go, and then it ultimately rebounded and started to fly to the upside. Unfortunately, I did not actually enter this trade. I forgot to actually set the limit. All right, so I missed out on it, guys. But even for me, like, I still get extremely excited, right? Anytime I come back the next day, and even if I took the trade or not, I see the trade actually play out the way that I expect it to. It's just one of those things that just continues to improve your confidence and gets you even better with trading, right? So again, this did exactly what we wanted it to. I told you guys I wanted to see price push back down and then eventually go ahead and rebound around those 161,400 levels. I think I said it right. And yeah, again, beautiful play, guys. But what can we see next, right? What is next now for GJ? Right. Well, I do want to see more continuations higher personally, right? I think we have some more upside, guys, for GJ. I really am targeting the 163.5 level to the upside. So I'm going to be looking for more opportunities to go ahead and go long once again here, right? Look for more buy setups, more buy opportunities here on GJ. So what I'm doing now is only just going lower time frame. I'm just looking to see what price is actually doing, and I'm trying to identify, guys, a key level that will probably make sense for us to really go ahead and look for opportunities to go long on. And the one area that's standing out to me the most is probably going to be the one that is lining up with all of this structure right here. Right, so probably right back down around this 162 level, right, which is not that far, right? We're only around 40 pips, and 40 pips for GJ, like, that's nothing, right? 40 pips for AUD/USD, that can be a little bit of a lot, right? But 40 pips for GJ, this can happen in one candle, right? Very quickly. But that's where I would feel comfortable looking for some buys again, right? So off of that 162, guys, right, 162 level. Going into tonight, this is what I would be looking to actually go ahead and play. And then I'll be targeting, right back up to these levels up here for around 100, 150 pips. Right, but yeah, I really do like this opportunity a lot. It looks good. It looks juicy. I'm actually going to go ahead and keep this one on my horizon as well. All right, because it does look pretty good. So that's what I will be looking at, guys, in terms of a play for GJ. Right, I want to look for the buy opportunity. I just want to see price come down a little bit lower. All right, somewhere down here around the 162 level. Yeah, I like that. That's where I would like to go ahead and see if we can get involved. All right, so we'll see what happens with that, though. Again, I'll keep it on my radar, and I'll see how the market ends up reacting around those levels. All right, so that's the GJ. Right now, let's go ahead and take a look at EURUSD. Right now, again, EURUSD was another one, guys, that I'm very interested in. I'm also still waiting on this one. And I'm still going to be letting this one actually sit open. So this is just another pending order that I actually placed yesterday off of our session yesterday. And I still think, guys, this is still looking very good, right? I still believe that we have a good chance for price to actually come up to this level up here, right? This 1.485 level. Because I still want to see, overall, I'm bearish EURUSD. But I would love to see the market actually rebound, go ahead and capture all this liquidity above these highs. And then from there, we actually go ahead and, sell off around the 1.485 level. That's definitely what I would love to see, right? But, we just got to be patient, right? If the market gets up there, amazing. I'll get triggered. Then I'll go ahead and see if we can ride it out. If it doesn't get up there, then it is what it is, right? I'm not in the trade either way. No harm, no foul. But that's really what I'm interested, guys, for EURUSD, right? I will be more interested in looking to see if I could sell it from up here as opposed to anything else. Now, with that said, Abel, is there an opportunity for us to actually go ahead and buy this, though? Right? Like, I get what you're saying, Abel, right? You want to sell it from up there, blah, 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 right? But is there an opportunity that we could take advantage of right now on EURUSD? And if I'm going to play EURUSD, it's going to be based off of how we actually react off this level that we're almost at right now, right? The 1.46 level. So in this level right here, right, this between 1.461 and just 1.59, depending on how we play there is really going to dictate on what we do next. All right, because if we look at the last very strong move, impulsive move, it was this big push up that we seen. This was a very aggressive, run to the upside here. So depending on how we actually play around the beginning of that run, where normally this will be considered an area of demand, strong level of demand based off the reaction. All right, let me go ahead and do this. So since this is a strong level of demand, typically what we should be expecting would be another run up, right? That would be pretty dope. That is very possible. But if price doesn't do that and we actually run lower, see, now we're breaking that level where the demand clearly had picked up tremendously. Right, and we actually seen a very strong, increase in the demand for the euro against the Australian dollar, and then we ended up seeing price come back into it. So if we break that level, then that's going to tell me that we're actually going to see more downside. So again, this 1.46 level is going to be very interesting, guys, for EURUSD, and I like the opportunity, right? So it's either, for me, again, I'm more so focused on the shorts than anything. You could possibly look to buy this if you know what you're looking for, but it's either we're going to be selling from up here, or we wait for the break of structure and then we go ahead and we sell off of this flip zone instead. Right, so that's how I will be looking, guys, for EURUSD, either selling from up here or selling from down here. Again, if you want to be that one to try to buy this, I mean, by all means, do your thing. I just have no interest, just because we have been, for the most part, you know, we've been experiencing a lot of bearishness overall, right? So I don't want to go against that. So that's just my 2 cents, guys, in my opinion here for EURUSD. What I'm leaning towards, though, is I do believe we probably are going to go higher. So I'm really going to be preparing myself for this big sell-off from up here still. This is really what I'm more interested in more than anything. The big sell-off from up there. All right. So that's EURUSD. Let me go ahead and see what we got here now in the chats, family. Let's see. I appreciate your answer. I found a lot more consistency with the daily time frame than any other. Yeah, for sure. Once you find the time frame that works best, stick with it. 100%. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. You guys are super active today, and I love it. Let me just catch up, though. Ejong here. What's going on, Ejong? What's going on? Good to see you in the chat. All right, the family is all good. I hope it is for you as well. Let's see. Let's hit that like button. Yeah, for sure, guys. Go ahead and smash the like button if you guys been getting value so far. All right, because we going in right now, right? We definitely talking about a lot of good stuff, and just how I approach the markets and what's been super successful for me. All right. So let's see. Can you look at gold? Yeah, we'll take a look at gold. Again, we already spoke about gold. To see what gold is doing right now. Again, we're just really playing off of this level right here of structure, and like I mentioned, you know, this will be a very interesting area right here for gold, for us to actually go ahead and continue bearish, right? Like, I'm very interested to see how we actually end up playing off of this level right here, right? Like, very interested, right? So depending on where you actually decide to jump in at, you know, just keep stops. In my opinion, stops should realistically just be above the high, just to be safe. Right, you always want to make sure your stops are above, you know, outside of the range. But I do like the opportunity to short this. Right, I really do like it 100%. You know, the one thing that we have to just keep our eye on is price could realistically again still push up into this 1.1770 level. Right, it could still push up into there, but I'm still very much looking for this thing to go ahead and short for sure, guys. So I still like this opportunity. Right, you know, I do like it a lot. You know, looking for this thing to go ahead and go bearish. Right, so that's my outlook for gold. It's looking good. It's looking good. It's looking good. It's setting up nicely for sure. All right, let's see. He looks at gold every night. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of these setups I look at every single night, but it is important still, right? Because for the most part, the intraday price action does change all the time. Let's see. How do you describe your trading style? Right, that's a great question. Right, so this is literally how I do my approach, family. Right, so the first thing that I focus on. Because for me, I am from a technical perspective, I definitely focus more so on just strictly price action, market structure, naked charts, not too many indicators. The only indicator I have on my screen is just the moving average. But I really do rely on price action and market structure more than anything around areas of supply and demand, right? So that's from the technical version of what I do. That's what I approach, right? That's what I look for, right? I look for areas, or I identify major levels of supply and demand. And then I trade based off the price action that I'm experiencing off of those levels. Obviously, depending on a lot of other factors, right? But that's pretty much the general gist of it. But before I even do any of that from a technical perspective, right? Before I look at the markets for technicals, before I do any of that type of analysis, in my mind, I'm already having a fundamental and sentimental analysis in play first, right? So the first thing I really do is I understand what fundamental analysis is telling me. Right, what is the data saying? What is happening in this world? Right, and what is the sentiment behind everything that's currently happening in this world and in our economies? And once I create that bias, then I go ahead and get into technicals. Right, so that's just me for all you guys that are newer to the family. Right, I focus heavily on fundamental analysis and sentimental analysis to really find the opportunities that I want to get involved with. And when I align myself with the smart money like that, see, then I actually am able to trade like smart money. All right, because when I hear smart money concepts and when I hear trading like smart money, I don't think about technical tools, because smart money doesn't even use the tools that we use, right? The big banks, the big institutions, they have, you know, way more advanced technology that we have access to, right? So when we're talking about trading like the banks, you should really just try to position yourself how they're going to position themselves from like a fundamental perspective instead of technical, right? Because you're trying to chase it from a technical, you're going to get destroyed every time. Let's see. Do you have trades open during news, or you wait till after to confirm your bias? Right. So it really depends. There's definitely trades that I have open during news. I'm not going to say that I don't. But if I'm not sure of the news event itself and I'm already not in a trade, then I'm not going to try to trade it, right? I'll trade after the release, right? I don't like trading right before news releases. So if I have a trade open during a news release, it's probably because I was already in that trade. All right, so I'm not just going to randomly enter one just to try to get in right before it, but I will wait after the news and see how the market reacts to jump in for sure. All right, let's see. Can you look at NAS 100? Yeah, for sure, right? So we did actually look at a bunch of these pairs already, so let's definitely go ahead and take a look at a few of these indices and see what's really been going on, right? So overall, guys, we actually seen an increase, right? We actually seen, at least for right now, short term, we've been experiencing a lot of strength, guys, for a lot of these indices overall, still gaining massive strength. And it could just be based off of, there could be a lot of different reasons why, a lot of different factors why this is gaining strength. But overall, I'm still very much bearish, right? I still want to look for the opportunities to go ahead and go short. It's just now based on pretty much how we're reacting and how we're playing. If I was looking to trade NAS, then I would probably be looking for a move higher, right? So I think that we're still going to experience more upside right now for NAS, and I think that we could realistically reach up to around the 13,400 level, right? Just based off where we're at right now and based off where our next key levels of structure are. Yeah, that 13,400 level looks probably like the the most attractive area for us. So what I think we could see, right, is if we actually get up into that level, right, without no real correction, right, like if price is literally where we're at now and we actually just start making our way up there, then we're probably going to see a very aggressive sell-off from that level, right? So that's probably going to be the best bet, will be just to see if price can actually get up into that 13,400 level and then look to short. But if price actually falls first, like if we actually see an actual deeper correction occur back into structure, see, then that could be an opportunity to actually buy us up into that 13,400 level. Okay, so it's either we're gonna sell up here, just go straight up higher, and then want to sell off from up there, or let the correction occur and then we want to buy it up into that level to then, in my opinion, eventually go ahead and sell off anyways, right? So that's where I would like to go ahead and take advantage of for NAS 100. But right now, with where it's currently at, I have no interest in trading NAS 100 right now. Now right here, like this is in no man's land, right? We just had a nice massive run up, right? I don't want to sell against this momentum, but I also don't want to buy all the way up here at these premium levels already, right? Again, understand, guys, right? Understanding when to jump in and when to avoid setups is crucial. There's nothing here for us to get involved right here, right? This thing is in no man's land right now, right? So there's no opportunity for me to get involved. It's either I have to wait for the pullback to try to jump in for the next long opportunity, or just let price continue going higher until we meet a new level of structure, and then we can look to play off of that as well, right? So that's literally how I would be playing NAS, and not just NAS, but pretty much all of these indices are the same way, right? SPX 500, very similar, right? Again, pretty much just chilling up here in no man's land. Dow Jones, US 30, very, very similar. But they all move very similar because they all react in a similar way. And I do believe that eventually, guys, for a lot of these indices, we are going to go back bearish. So I'm definitely looking to go ahead and go, at least for right now, just start to eventually prepare myself for a bearish move here for NAS. But yeah, I like this opportunity though. I just like to sell it around 13,400. All right, 13,400 looks juicy to me. All right, so let's see. What is your morning routine, Abel? That's a good question, right? So every single morning, I wake up at around 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. All right. Again, I live on the East Coast over here in the U.S. in North Carolina, right? So I wake up 6, 7 a.m. And once I wake up, I go ahead and I freshen up. I take a shower. I do all that good stuff, brush my teeth, get some food in my system, eat a light breakfast, and then I'm actually waking up my computer and I'm getting to work. All right, I'm actually on the charts, just looking over to see what happened, throughout the night, because I'm not awake during London session. Right, I actually enjoy sleeping, so I go to sleep. Right, so obviously, 7, 8 o'clock when I start analyzing the markets, the markets moved a little bit, so I'm reanalyzing to see exactly what's going on, see if there's any setups that were actually triggered overnight, or if there's any opportunities I could take advantage of. And by, I would say, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, right where New York session opens, I usually already in positions that were just trades that went in early in the morning, right, or during London session, or I'm actively getting ready to enter trades around those times if I'm not already in them. But I'm usually done trading by like 11, 12 o'clock. 11, 12 o'clock, I'm usually already done trading for the most part, right? Most of the time at those times, 12, 11 o'clock, 11, 12 o'clock, I'm not actively looking to look for entries. But if I am in trades, I'm just actively managing the trades. Okay, trade management, active trade management is a very crucial skill you guys will have to master as well. But that's pretty much just my routine. I wake up, I freshen up, and then I come on the charts and just, enjoy the day with my family. That's pretty much it. Great thing about trading, unless you're like actually traveling like crazy and you're just enjoying it, like when you're actually home all day and doing this trading aspect and this trading career, it's actually extremely boring, right? Like you're literally doing the same thing every single day over and over again, right? You wake up, you come to the computer, you analyze the markets, you find some opportunities, you take advantage of the opportunities, you either win or lose on those opportunities, and you're only doing that, thank God, for a few hours a day, but then the cycle repeats itself. But that's pretty much my routine in the jits, right? Let's see. Should I base each new candle based off the last candle and the last bit of structure, or is it better to just ignore small structure and pay attention to the major turning points in structure? I would say pay attention to the major levels, right? The major areas of supply and demand are probably going to be the best for you, and just easier to trade that way, right? So just play off of the major key levels. Best pair to trade Asian session for beginners, right? So for Asian session, odd yen. All right, I would say odd yen is a nice super slow pair that you could possibly trade, because it's going to be volatile because, for one, the Australian dollar, Sydney session, the yen, Asian session. So odd yen might be a very interesting pair to actually trade during this time. Let's see. I like to hear your thoughts. I never tell myself I'm good or better. Always looking for improvement, especially from you. You have a lot of experience. Took some money off the table, but I see us going up. Okay, for sure. I like that. Let's see. Take profit is 10 pips. That's okay. We'll still put it in your journal even if you didn't participate. Would you still put it in your journal even if you didn't participate? Oh, that's a good question, right? In terms of the actual setups, I wouldn't put it in my actual main journal. But I also don't have a journal that I would just put those type of setups in. But that might be something that you could do for sure. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Actually journaling the setups even if you didn't actually check them. There's nothing wrong with that at all if you chose to do that. I just never personally did that. Let's see. I always try to learn from people better than me, and I'm just looking for a reason why I should close the trade that I'm in. Yeah, do your thing, Eric. Do your thing for sure, man. You're crushing it. All right, let's see. Do you feel like AU and gold move the same? At times they do, right? But at times they also don't. All right, it's really just how you actually looking at the markets, right? Let's just look at it from this perspective right here. Right, let's go to the daily time frame. Right, this is the daily time frame from all the way back in 2013. Right, let's say, yeah, beginning of 2013, right? January 2013 all the way to now. Look at what AUD/USD has done. Right, now let's go to gold. What has gold have done since 2013? All right, and you tell me, how do they move the same? Right, because if you look at this from 2019 on, we've seen massive run. Right, where 2019 on here, we are still continuing this overall downtrend. Right, so just based off that, I mean, very simple, right? We can see that overall AUD/USD has been pretty bearish for almost a decade now, while gold has actually been, bullish, right? Even though it has been over the past 3-4 years, it's still, doing the completely opposite of AUD/USD. All right, let's see. This is a little skag setup too, right? Let's see. What moving average do you have? So that's the 50-period EMA. Right, the 50-period EMA. Let's see. I love Oanda as a broker. Yeah, Oanda's good for if you want to go the regulated route. Then yeah, Oanda's probably gonna be your best bet if you're over here in the U.S. Right. Shout out to that boy Skaggs. I see him in the building tonight. All right. Let's see. Down south, I thought you were in New York. You definitely got the accent. I'm from New York. Right. I was born and raised in New York, so I literally moved over here to North Carolina about 4 or 5 years ago. Right, but yeah, I was born and raised in New York, so I probably still got that New York accent. Let's see. Hi, what is your view on GBPUSD? For sure. So we already talked about GU, but we could talk about it again. So GU looked like a really good opportunity. Again, if you guys paid attention to yesterday, guys, I told you guys yesterday as well that from GU, like, we can realistically, I literally said yesterday that we could sell off right from this level right here. Like, again, we looked at this yesterday right here. All right, like yesterday, right? I said we're gonna come right to here. We're gonna sell off. Again, this is another opportunity that I personally didn't actually get in, so I actually missed out on this drop. And mind you, that drop is still a nice little 80, 90 pip drop, right? 90 pips a day can keep the doctor away, right? Can keep the 9 to 5 away. But it did exactly what we expected. Right now for GU, I'm expecting more downside. Right, I think we're just going to continue creating these little moves. Like, I would love to see prices continue creating these little lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, and just continuing on bearish. So right where we're at, guys, right now with GU, could definitely be an opportunity for you guys to start looking to short from. All right, not a bad play. All right, literally right from where we're at. Again, something like this, and then seeing if we are just going to continue in this little reaction that we've been seeing, right? So that's my guess here for GU. That's what I would be looking for. I do like the opportunity to continue to short GBPUSD. You know, so anywhere back up around this 1.217 level could be a nice opportunity to go ahead and go short on. All right, let's see. I've been trading between 5 to 7 a.m. Eastern before I had to work for 8 to 4:30, and I've been taking a beating. I don't have other times. What do you suggest? I mean, those are pretty much the best times to actually trade a Mario. Just because, again, liquidity is really what we pretty much want, right? Because especially if you don't want to deal with, you know, consolidated markets, like a lot of consolidation, a lot of sideways price action, then your best bet is to actually trade during, you know, those times, right? New York session, London session are the best times to trade, because the markets for the most part are going to be moving more times than not. So you're just gonna have to try to work around it. Same thing for me. I had a similar schedule when I was working, right? You know, I used to work at a warehousing job back in the day. It's crazy I could say back in the day now, but it was about 4 or 5 years ago, which was my last job ever, right? Thank the Lord. But at that warehousing job, you know, I used to pretty much work 10 to 12-hour days because it was warehousing, right? I used to have to go to work, pretty much be at work at 7:30, but I worked 30 minutes away. So I have to leave my house by like 6:30 every single day, all right? So I have to get there and actually, you know, do what I had to do. But I say all that to say this, you know, I had to make sacrifices as well, right? And I know that you're making sacrifices right now, but I had to make major sacrifices. The only time that I was able to trade was literally from Asian session going into London session, right? I'll literally be up from, you know, as soon as I get home from work around 6 o'clock, I'm right on the charts, right? Literally learning all the way till 3 in the morning, looking for setups all the way till 3 in the morning. Then I'll just place some trades and then wake up and see what happened. But yeah, you just got to just figure out a way to make it work. The biggest reason why a lot of traders are getting beaten up too is their experience, right? Like let's be honest here, guys, right? A big reason why a lot of you guys are probably getting beat up, if you are getting beat up, is because you still lack the experience that you need. It doesn't matter how good you are at understanding how to analyze the markets, right? It doesn't matter if you're good at actually marking up a chart. It doesn't matter if you're Picasso on the charts. It does not matter at all if you understand the strategy, right, to the T. If you lack the experience of actually trading these markets, you will continue to get beat up, right? It takes 10,000 hours to master anything, they say. Right, that's what they say, right? It takes 10,000 hours to master anything. So ask yourself this question: have I put in my 10,000 hours that I need to be putting in? Right? Because if I do put in my 10,000 hours, then there's a good chance that I'll probably be somewhat consistent, at least getting there. Right? So you guys have to ask yourself, family: have I put in my 10,000 hours yet? Have I put in my 10,000 hours? Because like I said, everything else, it's important. You got to know how to mark up the charts. You got to know how to analyze it. You got to understand fundamental analysis. You got to understand all that. But what you do have to have, no matter what, is that experience factor. That's the one thing that a mentor can't give you. Right? And and I speak on behalf of every single Forex educator, Forex mentor out there when I say this. Right, we can give you guys our sauce. We can give you guys our blueprint. We can give you guys our playbook, right? But you can't. You can duplicate the strategy. You could duplicate the playbook, but you can't duplicate the experience. Let me say that one more time, right? Because I want you guys to really get this. You guys can duplicate the strategies, you guys can duplicate the playbooks, but you cannot duplicate the experience. So if you're still not getting it, you still need to experience more. Continue to experience more. Every single time that you take a loss, every single time that you blow your account, that needs to be added experience, helping you to be able to identify on what to not do next time. It's the experience factor. I promise you guys. That's why you can't give up. You got to just continue to experience it. I know it sucks losing money, but it's a part of the game at the end of the day. All right, a part of the day. So let's see. Do you expect the market to move crazy if Biden talks about the China situation? I mean, there's a possibility for the markets to react to that, because obviously that's a very tough, touchy subject. Nobody wants to go to war. But just, I mean, from what it looks like, China really wasn't going to do anything. They were just pump faking for whatever reason. And they really didn't even do anything, right? They were just pump faking. So overall, this has happened numerous times where China, tries to pretty much show a sign of strength, but then nothing comes from it. So I'm not sure if there is anything gonna happen, but there always is a chance, right? Anytime Biden talks about something that's touchy like war or going to war, then yeah, the markets might actually react to it. Let's see. How do you like North Carolina? I like North Carolina, right? It's nice and peaceful over here, nice and calm and slowed down compared to New York, right? New York is super fast. Almost just choked, right? New York is super fast paced. Everything is moving at a fast pace in New York, so you got to be able to keep up with New York. But over here in North Carolina, everything is slowed down, nice and peaceful, much cleaner too. So yeah, I like it. Let's see. Team F a job. I agree. About to retire from the Army. Glad I started trading 3 years ago, so I'm definitely not getting another job. Let's go, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate your service as well. FC Mo Zart. Definitely appreciate you. Let's see. You can't buy experience once you put in the time. You just understand not every day is a good trading day. Exactly. Right. Exactly. Abel speaking facts. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Facts. My biggest experience was getting funded and blowing it. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like the most painful things that you're going to go through in trading, whether it's blowing a massively big account or not, is usually going to be the experience that you need to actually take that next step, though. Right, I see 10,000 hours is about 3.5 years working at it for 8 hours a day every day. Yep, exactly, right? I like the way you broke that down too, KFX. Right, 10,000 hours is 3.5 hours or 3.5 years working at it for 8 hours a day every day. So put in the work and everything will come. I promise you. All right, I promise you, it will come. All right, so that's really the thing that we gotta just fine tune, guys. That experience factor. Let's see. Can you look at oil, please? For sure. Let's go take a look at oil. All right. So oil overall, what have we been doing? We have been seeing more downside for oil. I mean, we did see a very aggressive bearish closure daily candle right there on oil. What do I think can happen next? This is a good question. Right, I mean, I could see oil come down to the 80 level, right? So I mean, we have a lot of pressure, a lot of momentum right now on oil, so I think that we could realistically see, oil to continue pushing bearish. All right, I think that we see more downside for oil. That's my opinion, and I would like to see it actually come down and reach around the 80. I would say maybe the 85 level, just to make it easy. So yeah, I like it. I like the bearish continuations for oil. In my opinion, in my humble opinion, right? But I don't trade oil too much, right? I never really got into oil, so that's just my opinion from just what I think is gonna happen from momentum. All right, let's see what else we got here. Let's see. Are you coming to LA on your tour, Roy? What's good, dog? Yeah, LA is definitely gonna be a spot. Last time we went to LA. It was an absolute vibe. Skaggs, were you on that trip to? I don't know if Skaggs was on that trip to LA, but we went to LA and it was an absolute vibe. We had a really great time. I'm out there just enjoying it. Went to the actual pier, Santa Monica. It was a vibe. So yeah, I love LA. I'll definitely all day for LA. Let's see. Thank you for this channel and all the value you provide, Ron. I appreciate you so much. So even though Tyrone and Dealer Team are amazing, even though you showed your versatility when you joined them, did you feel it was a deviation from your style? Just wondering. That's a good question, G. It definitely did. It definitely did play a role on my trading, if I'm being just transparent. Because now I was trying to tie in two different strategies, which at times, yeah, they could line up, but most of the times they didn't line up, right? So trying to combine it definitely did hinder my abilities to find, I would say, good setups. But it is what it is. Again, it's another experience, all right? And those are just things that I go through throughout this trading journey, and it's just an experience that I had to go through. Let's see. What's your schedule? Ron Staples. So again, I go live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday right here on this channel. Right, same exact time, same exact night. We've been going strong now for, I believe, maybe 3-4 months now. Right, it's been a little while, right? So we literally have hours and hours and hours and hours of Asian session material now that you guys can always go back and just rewatch and just, you know, catch the nuggets that you might have missed, right? But yeah, that's my schedule, right? We got KFX with the big $5. Let's go. Definitely appreciate you so much for supporting the channel and sponsoring the channel, KFX. If you have anything that you want specifically answered, any pairs that you want me to look at, by all means, please let me know, and I got you for sure. Let's see. I've been selling from 94 and I have it down to 89. Nice. That's good. Yeah, I think we could really see even more for sure. All right, let's see. Yeah, we will be lit in LA. Okay, I wasn't in LA, but let's do. Yeah, I'm with it. Bro, daily live on Asian sessions. Yeah, so I go live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Do you use Owanda, right? So I do not use Owanda personally. I still use unregulated brokers, no matter what your opinion is on them, right? That's still what I use, all right? I'm just not a fan of the regulated brokers and their rules and regulations, and it's just a lot, right? It's just a lot you got to deal with and you have to abide by, and you're gonna feel. I feel like trading with an unregulated broker, in my opinion, I like it, right? I never had no issues, especially with the brokers I've been using, and I've been, you know, and I deposit and withdraw. I'm gonna say it in just a humble way, but I deposit and withdraw some decent amount, right? So, and I never had no issues whatsoever, and I'd rather stick with them. Okay. But overall, Owanda is good though. If you want to deal with Owanda and if you want to deal with the rules regular, by all means, definitely do. Especially if you just don't trust. Like if you're gonna be depositing larger amounts, all right, and you just don't trust unregulated brokers, then yeah, Owanda is definitely the way to go, all right, because they're obviously regulated, so your money is gonna be protected. Okay, I'm just a wild cannon, and I trust these unregulated brokers somehow. All right, somebody gonna clip that on YouTube too and try to use that, but it's cool. All right, it is what it is. All right, let's see what else we got here. What other pairs can I trade besides pound during London session, right? You got the pound, you got the euro, you got the dollar. I mean, there's a lot you can trade. You could pretty much trade almost every pair, right, during London session. Literally. And it's probably going to end up moving. All right, so you could literally just pick them all for the most part, and they'll play good. You need to bring the team to Sacramento. I mean, listen, Sacramento, if we got a community out there in Sacramento, I have no issue going over there. Come to Chicago, I got you for sure. I know we got a lot of people out there in Chicago for sure. You confirm every position I'm in a race, so you're like my second confirmation. I love that. Let's see. Osprey FX is a good broker. I've heard of Osprey for sure. Let's see. 4,264 hours total. Been at it since February 12th, 2021. 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. Let's go, Bert. Let's go. 4,000. Yo, that's crazy though. It really takes 3 years, right? 3 years, 8 hours a day to really get to 10,000 hours. Once you get there, it's gonna be lit. I promise you. All right, I promise you. But family, I appreciate every single one of y'all. All right, we're gonna go ahead and end it with this. Call it quits for tonight. I do appreciate you guys all for rocking with me as usual. Without y'all, I would not be able to do this. I do plan on actually going live with you guys, because one thing I'm gonna start doing as well, family, is I'm gonna continue doing these Asian session streams pretty much every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But I'm also going to start adding like trading live news events with you guys, right? So any major news event that I feel like is important for us to be aware of, I'm going to go live with you guys every single time now, right? So that's going to start on Friday, right? So Friday at 8:30 a.m. I will be going live with you guys, and we're just going to be able to trade NFP together, right? Even if we don't actively jump into positions or jump into trades, you know, we can analyze the release of, or yeah, we can analyze how the markets react, you know, during the release of these actual news events. And if we're able to find an entry, we're able to find an entry. If not, then it is what it is, right? But that's going to be absolutely lit, right? So absolutely trading these news events together, since you guys know I am very heavily dependent on fundamentals, is going to be something that I feel like also takes your guys' trading to the next level, right? So family, I do appreciate y'all so much. I love you guys. Thank you guys for rocking with me tonight, and I'll be back on tomorrow, same time, same place. Keep your eyes on the opportunities that we did speak about, and yeah, we'll see ultimately how they end up playing out in the morning. So family, I appreciate y'all. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Let's get it.